looking up? All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Anything? Testing? This is a fun day already. This is so much fun. Testing. Testing. I need more than something. Hello. Testing. There we go. Woo. Good Yantiv. Shana Tovah. Let's bring this up a little bit. How's that? Do I sound pretty? So let's take a deep breath in. And let us begin. Baruch atah Adonai notea betochenu chayei olam, page 9. You are blessed, Eternal One, who places within us life everlasting. I light this candle on behalf of all those we are missing right now. And now we're going to continue the lighting of our Yom Tov candles. And as you know, our minhag has always been that the wife of the rabbi, in this case Cheryl Magat, has been lighting the candles. Well, today is her birthday, actually. So she doesn't get to blow out candles, she gets to light candles. But it's also Sarah Pollock's birthday, Stephanie's wife. So I thought, let's bring them together, both of them, to light candles on their birthday. We're not going to sing happy birthday, and they're not going to blow out the candles, but we can give them some positive energy. We continue on page 9.
Searching out what lies within us, guided by the flame of conscience. On this sacred night we search for truth. Shine your light upon us as we strive to serve you. May we find safety in your faithful love. We light the flame of healing and forgiveness. On this atonement night we give thanks for love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'chad ligner shel Yom HaKippurim. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, teaching us holiness through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing light on Yom Kippur. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, giving us life, upholding the life within us, and bringing us to this time.
Oh
we began many years ago a minhag that we would do on Kol Nidre. And that minhag was that, and it still is, that we invite our past presidents to stand and members of their family that are with us. And we've had so many losses over the course of the last couple of years. We've lost some amazing past presidents. So I invite the family, as I call the name of the past president, I invite the family to please rise in honor of the past president. I'm not going to read every name because when you're as old as we are, there's a lot of names. But I do think it's very cool for us to begin with our first president, Jacob Levy, who served 1861 to 1863, and then he served 1865 to 1871. He took a bit of a break, and then he started again in 1872 and went to 1875, around 14 or 15 years as president. Just saying. No kvetching. That's not bad. We think of someone who actually I got to meet, and he was an amazing human being, Dr. Maurice Engelman, who served 1939 to 1949. Milton Fox, 1951 to 1953. The Honorable George Barnett, also a really cool dude, Zichron Livracha, who served 1861 to 1963, as well as Sherman Neymark of blessed memory, who served 63 to 65. Julian Forster, Zichron Livracha, 1968 and 1969. Phil Hammer of blessed memory, 1971 to 1973. Lee Axelrod, I believe, was the first female president of our congregation, of blessed memory, 1974 to 1976. Cecil Weintraub, Zichron Livracha, 1976, 1977. These are all lightweights. They just did a couple years. Harold Kahn, 1977 to 1978. Reuben German, 1978 to 1979. Dr. Michael Kahn, who served a few times, 1979 to 1981, 1994 to 1996, and then he served 2011 to 2012 as well. Jane Schwartz, 1981 to 1983. Corinne Ravel-Retchen, Zichron Livracha, 1988 to 1990. Rick Davis, of blessed memory, 1990 to 1992. Bob Hirsch, Zichron Livracha, 1996 to 1998. Hank Stein, who was my first president, 1998 to 2000. Barry Cohen, 2000 to 2002, and then he took a bit of a stint in 2007. Steve Greenberg, 2002 to 2004. Dan Lee, 2004 to 2006. Ruth Crandell, blessed memory, 2007 to 2008. Laura Danoff Robinson, of blessed memory, who we lost this year, 2009 to 2011. Jeff Hoffman, 2012 to 2014. Andrew Weinberg, 2014 to 2018. Deborah Zimmer, 2018 to 2020. Steve Crandell, 2020 to 2023. And you got a couple years, David Hyman, for your past president. So while they're standing in their families, I invite us all to lift our hands as we have this opportunity to bless them as they have blessed us with their incredible leadership. May God bless you and may God keep you. May God's radiance shine upon you and be gracious to you. May God always be a source of strength, wholeness, completeness, and peace in your lives, as we all say together. Amen. Thank you so much. We continue on page 14. I invite you to please rise. Yom Kippur, the Jewish people's festival of the soul, and Kol Nidre, its sacred portal, a night of deep emotions, a night, as the psalmist wrote, to rejoice with trembling, rejoice at the sound of Kol Nidre, rhythmic words of release from vows, oaths, and promises to God we fail to keep. We tremble at the melody, music of spiritual amazement. It fills us with awe as we stand before God in Torah. We rejoice that we stand together, strengthened by community in this hour of shared weakness and humility. We tremble, for tonight we confess our flaws, admit our imperfection, and acknowledge a power far beyond our understanding. We rejoice that we commit ourselves to great endeavors because we feel so deeply and think so nobly. We tremble, for we find that our ideals are far greater than our ability. Our promises surpass our might. We rejoice in the freedom that is Kol Nidre's true gift, the freedom to begin a new year without fear of failure, to aspire to be God's image in the world. We tremble because we are mortal. We rejoice in our gratitude for life. We rejoice with trembling and enter Kol Nidre to face our humanity. Page 19. Let our speech be pure and our promises sincere. Let our spoken words, every vow and every oath, be honest and well-intentioned. Let our words cause no pain, bring no harm, and never lead to shame, distrust, or fear. And if, after honest effort, we are unable to fulfill a promise, a vow, or an oath, may we be released from its obligation and forgiven for our failure. Let our speech be pure and our promises sincere. Please be seated. Once the Torahs are seated. We continue on page 22. I invite you to please rise if you are able. We continue on page 25, or make it 24. Hi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem, barakia kirtzono borei yom, v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom u'meivi layla uma'avdil bein yom uvein layla Adonai Tzevaot Shmo El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu L'olam Ba'ed Baruch atah Adonai ha'amariv aravim.
Page 25. Day and night are yours, creative spirit of the universe. The muted colors of twilight, the radiance of dawn. Yours are the spreading wings of light, the deepening shadows of darkness, and ever-changing drama. In the human heart, too, the struggle between darkness and light unfolds. From sunlit heights of generosity, the human heart sinks to the gloomy depths of selfishness. Although we fall, you give us the strength to rise again. You call on those who hurt through word or deed to break free from wrongdoing and return to you. All who hear your call to goodness are embraced. All who reject emptiness and evil find acceptance from you. We come into your presence this night of Kol Nidre, aware that our shortcomings and weaknesses are many. Yet, encouraged by your promise of forgiveness, we choose freely the path of repentance, restoring wholeness to our lives and holiness to the world. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk.
Page 27. We pause in reverence before the gift of self. The vessel shatters, the divine spark shines through, and our solitary self becomes a link in Israel's golden chain. For what we are by sharing, and as we share, we move toward the light. We pause in reverence before the mystery of a presence, the near and far reality of God. Not union, but communion is our aim, and we approach the mystery with deeds. Words led us to the edge of action, but it is deeds that bring us closer to the God of light. We pause in terror before the human deed, the cloud of annihilation, the concentrations for death, the cruelly casual way of each to each. But in the stillness of this hour, we find our way from darkness to light. May we find our life so precious that we cannot but share it with others, that light may shine brighter than 1,000 suns with the presence among us, the God of light.
We continue on page 28. I invite you to take a deep breath in with me. Exhaling out. Continue with Vea Hafta that you can find on page 30 and then page 32.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשיטתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך וקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. You shall love Adonai your God with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Set these words, which I command you this day, upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. Thus you will become holy to your God. I, Adonai, am your God, who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, your God.
Page 39. Let's read this together. Our sages taught it is proper to mention the exodus from Egypt in our morning prayers and also at night. We celebrate the going out from Egypt in the morning light, full of confidence and vigor as we enter the new day. But in the evening, weary from the day's exertions, cast down and fearful at the coming of the night, What can the Exodus teach us then? Our nighttime prayer brings hope and trust in the future. As God did not abandon our people long ago through the long, dark night of exile, so the Holy One will be with us in time to come. To stand by the one you love, that is the true essence of faithfulness, the meaning of emunah. So it is written in the Psalms, to proclaim your kindness in the morning and your faithfulness in the nights. Sing with joy in the mornings of your life, when light surrounds you and the world seems beautiful and good, and in the evening of your life, when you dwell in sorrow and the world seems dark, do not despair. Page 40, we continue with Michamocha.
Page 43. When fears multiply and danger threatens, when sickness comes, when death confronts us, it is God's blessing of shalom that sustains us and upholds us, lightening our burden, dispelling our worry, restoring our strength, renewing our hope, reviving us.
Hashivenu Adonai.
Please rise as we continue on page 46. Nice try there. Adonai sivatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open our lips that our mouths may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevi geula livnei bneihem. Neman shemo ve'ahava. Lechozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai. Magen Abraham Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'hoshia, Morid hatal. lehachayot hakol, Baruch
Page 53. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yalucha selah. You are holy, your name is holy. Seekers of holiness praise you day by day. Selah. We join together on the bottom of the page. And so, in your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe. Turn out fear to reverence. Let us be witnesses of wonder, perceiving all nature as a prayer come alive. We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power. We yearn for connection with all that lives, doing your will with wholeness of heart. Awe-inspiring is your creation, all-encompassing your transcendent name. We continue on page 58. You are holy, your name is Ah. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai HaMelech HaKadosh. Please be seated. Page 62. Vatiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu ba'ava et yom haKippurim hazeh. In your love, eternal our God, you've given us this Yom Kippur, a day on which our wrongs are forgiven with love, a day of sacred assembly, a day to be mindful of our people's going out from Egypt. We join together, our God and God of the generations before us. May a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness. Together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel, may we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of atonement. Page 64. Zachrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo letovah, ufoktenu vo livracha, v'hoshienu vo l'chaim. Eternal our God, remember us. Amen. Be mindful of us. Amen. And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
Together, favor us with words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace and compassion. Page 72. invite you to turn to page 79. And there are two readings here that I invite you to pick one of those and read, or offer the prayer that you find in your heart right now as you pause in silent meditation. we continue with our vidui on page 82. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence, and when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Tavo lefanecha, tefillatenu, ve'al titaylam, mitchinatenu. Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, tzadikim anachnu, v'lo chatanu. Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dolfi, ay, 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 Evinu, Vehirshanu, Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tafanu Sheker, ay, 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 Ya'atznu-ra, Kizavnu, Latznu, Maradnu, Niatznu, Sararnu, Avinu, Pashanu, Sararnu, Kishinu Oref, ay, 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 Rashanu,
Rashanu,
Shichatnu,
Shichatnu,
Tiavnu,
Tiavnu,
Tainu,
Tainu,
Titanu,
Titanu.
ay, 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 ay.
Page 86. We join together. For these sins, our God, we ask for forgiveness. The ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths. The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech. The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor. The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Continue on page 88. The ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by losing self-control. The ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink. The ways we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses, and harm we have caused in your world through greed and exploitation. The ways we have wronged you through cynicism and scorn, and harm we have caused in your world through arrogant behavior, page 90. The ways we have wronged you by hating without cause, and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech. The ways we have wronged you with a slanderous tongue, and harm we have caused in your world through a selfish or petty spirit. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Page 94, there's a very powerful reading, and I invite you just to take a few moments as we continue silently to read that wonderful prayer. We continue on page 113. I invite you to please rise. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Some of us have cancer. Some lost strength of body. Some have lost memory and speech. Some of us are in pain. Some cannot find work. Some of us bear the marks of human cruelty inside where the scars don't show. Some live with depression. Some battle addiction. Many feel alone. Some have known shattered marriages, trust betrayed, hopes destroyed. Some of us have lost the ones we love far too soon, and some have lost a child. All of us have seen suffering in our midst. All of us know the ravages of war, for which there are no words. Avinu Malkeinu, why? Avinu Malkeinu, are you there? Do you care? Avinu Malkeinu, hear our pain. Hear our anger, hear our grief. Avinu Malkeinu, here is our prayer. Give us the strength to go on. Give us reasons to get up each day. Give us purpose and persistence. Help us to fend off fear and to hold on to hope. Help us to be kind. Don't make us bow or grovel for your favor. Give us dignity and give us courage. Avinu Malkeinu, show us the way to a year of goodness. Renew our belief that the world can be better. Restore our faith in life. Restore our faith in you.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu.
I was sitting in my last class at the University of Judaism, now known as the American Jewish University, by the way. The only thing left to complete my master's in education was an 8-hour written exam and a 2-hour oral exam, and a decision. Where do I apply to rabbinic school? Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion, a Reformed Seminary, or JTS, the Jewish Theological Seminary, the conservative movement. Maybe surprising for some of you, it was a hard decision for me. Thankfully, I had an amazing conversation with one of my professors, the magnificent Elliot Dorff. He helped me tremendously as I worked through a variety of issues. In the end, could I, as a rabbi, look at you in the face and say, in order to be a good Jew, you have to keep kosher? Although at the time I actually kept kosher, I did not believe that is what makes a Jew a good Jew. It has always been about our actions and how we are in the world. It is what comes out of our mouth, not what we put in it, that makes us Jewish. So I obviously entered the Reformed Seminary. And I began as the second most traditional student rabbi of that group, even leading an egalitarian but otherwise Orthodox minyan every morning before class at our Jerusalem campus. I even wrapped tefillin every morning, except for Shabbat, of course. So you don't have to go to Chabad to wrap tefillin. I got you covered. Although I entered rabbinical school as the second most traditional practicing member of my class, in 1993, when I was ordained, I came out as the second most progressive rabbi of our class. So those of you that know my practice, my customs, my minhagim, then you may not be surprised that that's how things ended up. One of my professors I mentioned on Rosh Hashanah and I discussed at my first High Holidays sermon set 25 years ago was Dr. Alvin Reines. I took every class he offered. You see, he was the only trained philosopher in our entire seminary, including New York, Los Angeles, Cincinnati, and Jerusalem. He was a Maimonidean scholar, say that 10 times fast, meaning he taught courses on Moses ben Maimon, the Rambam, a 13th century scholar, and considered one of the greatest Jewish philosophers of all time. The course on Maimonides' Guide to the Perplexed was one of Reines's best classes. That is where I first understood how many of the great rabbis, like Maimonides, did not always write on one level. You can't take them literally, but actually wrote on multi-levels at the same time. At our seminary in Cincinnati, Reines's philosophy was integrated in the teachings of 3 other professors as well. They took much of Reines's ideas and expressed them through the subjects they were teaching: history, midrashic literature, and practical rabbinics. So what was Reines's idea that were so powerful and that impacted these 3 professors, and why during my 25th High Holidays sermon set, I'm making his idea central to my message? When I said earlier that I entered rabbinic school as the second most traditional rabbi, just freshly graduating the conservative seminary's affiliate in Los Angeles, honestly, it was the many courses I took with Reines that moved me from that very traditional perspective of Judaism to embracing a much more progressive approach to how I do Judaism. And it would become absolutely game-changing to how I would operate as a rabbi. It was fundamental to my approach when I came here to Temple Emanu-El, and it is the foundation of many modern minhagim and newly created minhagim that we do. And that key teaching of his was the Freedom Covenant. It is the one piece of dogma I have based all of our minhag customs and traditions on. The Freedom Covenant is the idea that you have the right to believe whatever you want to believe so long as you do not take that right away from another. I would suggest this also applies to one's body. A community that believes that and creates its own minhagim is what Reines would term a polydoxian community. Polydoxy is exactly what it sounds like. It is the idea that there are many beliefs, not just one. Orthodoxy, obviously, is the idea of one belief. And Reform Judaism can fall into the trap of being an orthodoxy when we say we do things one way. Like I mentioned on Erev Rosh Hashanah, the Reform rabbi who forbade wearing a kippah in the sanctuary, this is not Reform, this is orthodoxy. We as Reform Jews are a Polydoxian community. As a Reformed Jewish Polydoxian community, Temple Emanu-El has experienced all kinds of minhagim, customs, whose purpose has been to attempt to bring meaning into our lives. And that is why we must embrace innovation, new minhagim, new ways of doing things moving forward. Excuse me. By experimenting with minhagim, we learn what works and what does not. And as our congregation grows and expands, so too should our willingness to innovate and experiment. We were established as a synagogue on August 5th, 1861. We are the oldest synagogue between San Francisco and Los Angeles. One of the 5 oldest congregations in California, I believe. That's right. Emanu-El started out as the Bikur Cholim Society, meaning visiting the sick. Why? Because originally our synagogue was a traditional practicing synagogue. And when you came into a new place, into a new community or city, the first order of business is to take care of the ill and bury the dead. That is why we are the only synagogue in this area that has its own cemetery. And moving west to help support the gold rush efforts in part meant that they took their traditional minhagim with them. And some years later, we became Reformed. So our synagogue has existed through many, many changes. But we have been relevant the entire time because we have been maintaining minhagim that matter and adding new minhagim that give us greater meaning. If you haven't noticed, things have changed quite a bit over the last couple of centuries. The more relevant we are, the greater impact we have on those around us. That is why we don't have an issue with some of our people needing to express their correct pronouns, do we? No, we don't. Because our community has many parts to it that make up our beautiful tapestry. We are all colors from all places, we speak all languages, and we accept all like-minded people. And any minhag, custom that we do, must come out of such a philosophy. Temple Emanu-El is a Polydoxian Reformed Jewish congregation, which means we do not profess a single belief in God. Our limit in our synagogue, as I teach in our B'nai Mitzvah preparatory class, is that you can believe up to one God. The truth is, many of our congregants do not believe in a personal deity. Others believe, but their view is more of a naturalistic perspective of God as a process in nature. Others believe God is a human-made idea to ease the conflict of finitude, the fact we all die. In my opinion, all of these beliefs work in our Polydoxian community. And that is why you are welcome to have whatever belief you want. I would say there's a litmus test for belief in God. If our belief in God does not motivate us to be the best we can be and to work towards tikkun olam, repairing the world, and if our belief does not comfort us and bring us a sense of kesher, connection with those around us, then maybe we should question our beliefs about God, maybe even trying on a new one for size. Reformed Judaism as a polydoxy has many beliefs available to us. Can you imagine being Orthodox with just one view? Oy vey. Remember, 2 Jews in the discussion, 3 opinions? Yeah. As a Polydoxian community, we affirm our belief that each of us struggles with our own belief, and we are part of an extended family that also understands that our behavior is more important than our belief. So believe what you want to believe, but question your belief if it does not motivate you to be the best you. So too, if our beliefs are not comforting in times of grief, or if our beliefs are more about pointing fingers than being self-reflective, then maybe we should rethink our belief. As challenging as belief can be, just like the Torah itself, there is never just one way to look at it. For as we experience life, our beliefs should be impacted. Just as we go through grief, our beliefs should be questioned. Just as we learn more about ourselves, our beliefs should be a reflection of that reality. And that experience we should create, minhagim, customs that envelop us with holiness, comfort, and inspiration. As a Reformed Jewish congregation, we must embrace the struggle of existence and what God is. But we do it in the comfort of our extended family. That is what it means to be part of a congregation. We do not need to focus on our differences or even similarities. We need to only understand that all of us are in the same boat, trying to understand our existence in light of our tradition and our own experiences. Let our faith lie with this struggle, for that is what it means to be Emanu-El. But Rhinus warns, though, that there is a potential for destruction if we are not careful. And it is a warning I take very seriously. I mentioned it briefly on Rosh Hashanah Day, and that is the idea of a silent Holocaust that can destroy our people. Let me explain. Rhinus suggested that if we do minhagim and rituals that have no meaning, we can destroy our peoplehood. Meaninglessness leads to the need to search elsewhere. If we just do minhagim and rituals because that is what Jews have done forever and will do forever, then the potential rises of those becoming empty rituals. That is why our congregation embraces the changes needed to welcome all genders, struggles with language, working out rituals so that those rituals are more inclusive of people. My friends, over the course of my 24 plus years as your rabbi, the Freedom Covenant has helped to guide me in the flow and movement that is our congregation. Like a fresh water river coming from the crisp snow-capped mountain, our experiences and our minhagim should refresh us and help us feel alive. As they reminded us on Rosh Hashanah, we must embrace the inevitability of change. And honestly, it's not hard if you open your heart and mind to those that may see things just a bit differently than you. Tomorrow at our Tikkun Olam discussion, we'll be having an open conversation about the state of Israel. We'll hear from 3 of our lay leaders who will talk about Israel from their perspective, and it will not be one-sided. Come and add your perspective as well. I know I will. I so appreciate the opportunity to do what I do as your rabbi in our Polydoxian Jewish community and in the interfaith community around us. In the spring of 1999, when I interviewed with the search committee, our Baal Tekiah, of all people, Mark Kahn, asked me a question that I will never forget, which was, if I come up to the bima and I'm not wearing a talit, what would you do? I gave a very Polydoxian answer, something like a talit does not define us, and at that moment expressed my view on kippah and talit being a choice and not mandatory. The committee's eyes all lit up as they smiled, and when I received the call from Bob Hirsch later that day after my flights back to San Diego, I was told the committee had unanimously agreed to recommend me as rabbi to the Board of Trustees. So when I started in July of 1999, with the knowledge from my search committee as well as what I was learning quickly from my interactions with congregants, I saw we had a really good fit, something I have treasured and cherished for these 24 plus years, and it is why I have not jumped ship either. You see, as a congregation that embraces the Freedom Covenant, we are able to truly be a Polydoxian Reformed Jewish congregation, with some people who like more traditional minhagim and those who do not. What we have in common is the idea that there is not one way to do something. And guess what? It works. Being judgmental and pointing fingers, as our emeritus rabbi, Joe Gittin of blessed memory, would say, when you point your finger at someone, you need to consider the fingers pointing back at you. May we, as a Polydoxian Reformed Jewish congregation, embrace all people who come through the doors of our historic synagogue. And may our minhagim not only pass our personal sanity tests, but also bring us meaning and comfort. May we prevent a silent Holocaust by not doing empty rituals that have no meaning. Rather, let us embrace an open and innovative spirit to all that we do. For we are the oldest and we are the newest synagogue. May all our voices be heard. Amen.
Oh
Shana Tovah. I'm Byron Lilly, and it is my honor to represent the Board of Trustees this evening. I'd like to welcome you all to Temple Emanu-El's High Holy Days services. We're delighted to see all of you and to be sharing this High Holy Days observance with you once again here at the Heritage Theater and with those of you live streaming our service together as one congregational family. Please take a moment to say hello to the many new friends that are joining us today for the first time here at High Holy Days services. To those of you who are new to our congregation, please take a moment to stop by our membership table where we have flyers and information on all of our many temple programs and upcoming activities, including High Holy Days events. We want to express our thanks again to Shannon Brown and the Brotherhood members and friends for creating the beautiful bema that you see before you, and to our many hardworking volunteers and the temple administrative and custodial staff for their preparations for services this year. We also want to express our thanks to our wonderful clergy team for leading such meaningful holiday services this year. Our Yom Kippur Children's Service will begin tomorrow at 9 a.m., followed by our congregational service at 10 a.m. We look forward to seeing you there. Following the morning service, please join us at 1 p.m. for a discussion on Israel, hosted by our Social Action Tikkun Olam Committee. At 2:15, we'll be having a guided meditation in the Roosevelt Room. Please pre-register for that session. Our healing service, led by our ritual committee, including yours truly, will begin at 3:15, followed by a musical interlude at 4. We hope to see you all for Yizkor, Ne'ilah, and Havdalah beginning at 4:45. The Festival of Sukkot begins this Friday evening, September 29th, with our first night fiesta. We invite you to bring your artistic flair as we decorate our sukkah at 5:30 p.m. and enjoy a nacho bar provided by our membership committee. This will be followed by Shabbat Sukkot service experience at 6:30 and will culminate with a lovely oneg in the sukkah. Please check your booklets or online for our full list of Sukkot and Simchat Torah programs. We appreciate your flexibility in sharing prayer books this evening. If you're using a temple book, please leave it on the table as you leave the sanctuary. If you brought your own, be sure to take it with you. If this is the last Yom Kippur service you plan to attend, please return your lanyards into the baskets provided so that they can be reused next year. Who would write that in there? Thank you for joining us for these High Holy Days, and we wish you all a Gamar Chatimah Tovah and a sweet New Year.
What do you got to do tomorrow, man? Come on. Ken and I are here. You got to hang with us. Right, Ken? Well, just for that, we're going to do Elena. We continue on page 117. Please rise if you're able.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'ateit gedula li'otzer breshit, shehu noter shamayim v'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yekaro b'shamayim hima'al, u'shtinat uzo b'govhei meromim, u'Eloheinu ein od, va'anachnu horim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 119. May the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when lies and bigotry shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. So may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your dominion be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום
page 121. This holy night concludes with memory. Our last thoughts always are of those we have lost. We miss them especially tonight, yearning for their presence at our side. The service we have shared once was theirs. They spoke and sang the ancient words. They prayed, repented, and yearned for better lives as we have done. Flawed in their deeds and perfect in their faith, they still drew strength from their tradition as we seek fortitude in ours. What was good and beautiful in their lives once gave us joy and now inspires us to reach higher. The knowledge that they loved us deeply brings comfort to our hearts. So we light candles of remembrance and gratitude, and we speak this timeless truth. Zichronam livracha. Their memory is a blessing now and forever. We pray that their goodness will live on in our lives, planting seeds of kindness and hope for generations to come as we turn to page 122, joining together in Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, ve'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malachutei, ve'chayechon of yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalav uzman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya, yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'rechu, Le'elam ul'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'elma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba mishamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'akol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. Please be seated. Page 127, we conclude with Yehi ratzon milpanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu shetchadesh aleinu shana tova metuka. Our God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year, may it be a sweet year. L'shana tova tikatevu v'techatemu gamar Chatimah Tovah. May you have an easy fast if you're fasting, but drink water and shower and brush your teeth. We're in community together. And that's our minhag here at Temple Emanu-El. But you got to do what you got to do either way. We'll see you all hopefully in the morning tomorrow. Have a good evening. You too, Ken. Have a very good evening. That was a good job, I'm telling you. Chatimah Tovah.
Ha ha ha.